You take me there, you make me better. I hold your hand, I leave the ground. Hello, and welcome to my little corner of YouTube. I am also known as Birch, and over here we do some scam baiting. I might not be high tech, and I may not be able to, I don't have connections and all that jazz, but I do my good job wasting their time and getting information and passing it on to you all. That's what I do here. Now, if you've had any experience with scammers or just listened and or watched people that do, you'll notice that they don't all stick to their script. Quite often they can be flipped off their script. But some of them, while floundering and failing, just, slink away, and others, like this guy, come up with plan B. And they think they're so slick, and sometimes they are. So, this is part 2 of the Tom Ellis. He had already admitted to me that he was Nigerian, as if I didn't know, eye roll. And now we're going to take a look at his plan B and just see how lazy he is. You actually get some answers into why he didn't want the help that I was going to offer. Tell you, these kids. Okay, so here he is saying, yes, I'm from Nigeria and I love the way you communicate. He was good-hearted at least, I suppose. So, why steal? Why make a bad name for your countrymen? Because that's how you think it. This is me, he declares. You hate your people? Or moreover, you hate random white people that didn't do anything to you. Would you do local work? See them in the eye as you take their money. No, I don't hate anyone. I love everyone around me, he says. Then why take what's not yours? Including you. So, of course, he loves me, or at least the idea of what he might get out of my wallet. He says he didn't understand when I said, would you do local work? But I was already on to the next thing. Just to be clear, going for the puss won't fly. Going for the puss is the romance scams, the trying to win your heart through, anyway, it's very derogatory, but that's what they call it. Local work. Stealing in your area, would you take from someone you can see face to face? I asked. And he responded, just to be clear, that going for the puss won't fly. He's like, I know. Of course he knows. That's why he's hoping plan B will work. No, I don't do that, he says about local work. I am a well-respected person in my place. It might be that he is. It might be that he's just delusional to think he is. Either way, this is very disturbing, to say the least. Okay, so why steal from someone overseas? Stealing is considered being well respected? Technically, I already knew the answer. I was hoping for something from him. But, hope springs eternal, and you're always left wanting for more. Now you know what I do, he says, because of course, again, I had no clue. And then totally missing the point of my question about whether or not stealing is considered respected. He's like, you think so? Well, no, I don't. I don't think stealing is respectful and should be respected. Well, I know your churches praise Yahoo boys. So every time y'all try the God bless shit, I know just what you are after. So it's true. There are many churches. Now, I'm not saying all churches are corrupt. Just because their government's corrupt, like most of our governments, doesn't mean all their churches are. But the scammers that you talk to, their churches that they go to are corrupt. There are many preachers out there that are literally praising in their sermon what these people do. They are singing the praises, and there are prayers lifted up to their God about, being able to successfully steal money. I'm not going to continue on there because that's just... If you are truly a Christian out there, whoever's listening, it's not... These people are not just giving a bad name to Nigerians and to Africans. They're giving a bad name to y'all. They are literally breaking your commandments, or your God's commandments. And they're doing so gleefully with some delusional thought that God is blessing them and God is okay with what they're doing. So, if you weren't angry at them before, you've got another good reason to be angry with them. And in response to, "You think so?" I said, "No, I don't. I'm asking if you think that." And then I hate this whole he said, she said, back and forth thing. But when he said, when I told him that I knew about the churches and everything, his response was, well, I don't know what to say anymore. Can we be friends, please? Okay. So he knows that I know, but he doesn't know what to say, and he wants to be friends. And interestingly enough, even though he has admitted that he is from Nigeria, he's still using the pray hands, the white pray hands. Fun, unrelated fact. Did you know that those pray hands that everybody uses, it's a high five emoji. It's not actually praying. Just thought I'd mention that. I thought it was funny. I think so. It makes it even more funny every time the scammers use the pray hands emoji, because it's really a high five emoji. Sorry. Anyway. And I'm very sorry for what has happened today. Very sorry, he says. Dear, I knew what you do for a living before you told me to message you. I will try to be a better person, and I will change. He won't. Spoiler alert. For good. He thought he'd just get that in there in earnest. How often do you go for Plan B? I asked. I need someone to change my life. I want to go to the UK to further my education. So this was his Plan B. He wants to further his education. But, as you'll find out, he doesn't want to do what is required to further his education. As many cafe boys as there are those of us who know how and what the hustle is. I'm not in the UK, mate. But that's a goal indeed. I know, he says. And thanks. I wish my parents were alive to further my education. So, his plan B is he wants to further his education, and to add to the salt to the wound in his little sob story, his parents are dead. You see where this is going? Yeah. The person that will change your life will be you. You have the power to do good with it. What grade you in? I asked. But I need direction, he says. I just finished secondary school last 2 years. Okay, so wanting to go to uni? I said. Yes. Well, you can always do that. You can always do what they do in the West. But no one will sponsor me, he says. You need day, not sponsor. Have pride yourself, young man. Okay. So can I see your picture? Because my picture has absolutely everything to do with whether or not he gets a sponsor. And technically, I'm being a little poking at him here about that, but I did say you need day, not sponsor. I sort of started, with the pigeon thing, so maybe he's thinking, oh crap, I'm hitting up one of my own. So he needs to see a picture. Sometimes they need to see a picture to verify that you are not Nigerian, but mostly they need a picture so that way they can use that picture to blackmail you, your family. They can use it to scam other people, just like they use other people's profiles. If they can steal your profile, they will most of the profiles they use are stolen profiles. They were once legit. They hacked into on Facebook, and yeah. It's a mess out there, people. Work and do class part-time. Save up money. You could you could take a few years off to raise the money or go or work while doing class. People do it all the time, and it's true. All over the world. Not just in first world countries. All over the world, people put themselves through school with hard work. But this kid didn't want any of it. That's nice, he says. Why not take a student loan, I asked. Now, granted, I don't know what kind of hell student loans are in Nigeria. Maybe it is rough. I don't know. I mean, but if you want to go to school, if your goal is to go to school, then typically you're wanting to get into a field where there is a demand, and even though you got to pay a lot into school, when you get out and get that job in that whatever field, you're going to be able to pay back your loan with not so much problem. I won't say it's easy. I don't want to disrespect anybody out there that's doing such or has done it, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be about planning ahead, but this guy doesn't want to plan ahead. He literally just wants money. He's not going to go to school. Trust. I can't do that, he says, about taking out a student loan. Why? They exist. I am not trained that way to go make a loan. Not sure what he meant. Maybe you could also be of help to me, he says. So you don't have your latest exam results, a breakdown of the courses and costs you need? I asked, because that's what he needed to get a student loan. I looked it up. And in response to maybe you can also be of help, and I'm like, yeah, that's plan B. I think so. So, what are you suggesting? He asks hopefully. I'm not. You are. You still want my money, but rather than for a PlayStation, you want me to fund schooling for you. What work, other than hustle from white people, have you done for yourself? Maybe you can look for a job for me over there, so I can come and work. Yeah. So I went online and I did some research. We'll take a look at it in a bit. But for some reason, Facebook would not let me send the link. It literally wouldn't. At first I thought maybe he just decided to block me, but it wasn't him. It won't let me send my message. And I tried it again. I think this is a great idea, he said, because he didn't see the links that I was trying to send. He just thought it was a great idea that I'm going to sponsor him and give him money. So here's a little picture of the student loans. Like I literally took a screenshot and said to show him that I was trying to show him about student loans in Nigeria, what you should know before applying. And when we go through it, you'll see exactly why he doesn't want to do it. It won't let me send the link, but this has all the info you need. I'm sure you... did not mean sissy, but I said sissy. I'm sure you would know all about it, though. I can't, he says. I keep trying to send the link, but it wouldn't let me. I was just showing him. Like I took a screenshot of me trying to show him. Don't send it, because I won't try it. I don't want to take a loan. So he literally does not want to do the effing work. Why? Because the money that I give him, the money that he wants from me, is not going to go to school. Literally, it's going to go to whatever else he wants. If it was going to go to school, then a student loan would be no problem. I see you want the money to spend on bling, women, and cars, but you pretend it's for school. I swear to God it's for school, but I can't just go and take a loan when I don't know when to pay it back. The God that you disobey by scamming? That God? I asked. You haven't done anything to work towards this, and you expect a stranger to hand it over to you? Do you even know how hard I myself have to work for what I have? Please, I know what you are trying to say, but please. Don't judge a book by its cover. Where is your pride? I asked. A magazine that pretends to be a book is still a magazine. I don't have pride. I only have manner of approach, he says. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to? And his response to me saying a magazine that pretends to be a book is still a magazine. And someone who feels that he or she is a good Samaritan and doesn't care or help the less privileged is not a good Samaritan. Manipulation much? Try to understand me. I said I'm sorry for everything. I really need help to go to school. How much do you know about World War II? I asked, because I thought, you know what, maybe I can educate. He did not want educating. He didn't want any of this. He literally just wanted money. He was like that one homeless guy who went into McDonald's and was begging everybody for money because he hadn't eaten in days. And I had a sandwich on my table that I hadn't opened. It was like a cheeseburger. I said, sir, I don't have money to give you, but here's a cheeseburger. I haven't touched it. And he literally yelled. The whole restaurant heard him. I don't want your fucking food. I just want money. That's what this guy's doing. Don't know anything about World War II, he says. And my response about, go away, motorcycle. And my response to him saying, you know, his whole guilt trip about being a good Samaritan, I said, this doesn't apply when you tried to lie right off the bat, love. Now I know where your anger is coming from, he declares. I'm sorry. Okay, well, World War II saw Hitler kill BIPOC, LGBTQIA 2S, disabled folks, and anyone who wasn't the master race. You know about Nazis, I think. Don't understand any of this, he says. And you know what? Maybe he didn't. Maybe it is because maybe their education in elementary school is very poor in Nigeria. Or maybe it's not that it's poor. Maybe it's more like America, where America only learns about American history. Maybe Africans only learn about African history. I don't know. I don't want to be ignorant completely. Although at the same time, I think he just doesn't understand because he doesn't want to understand. Well, now in the West with Trump, he is currently actively taking up the mantle of Hitler. The economy is shit. The people who oppose him aren't safe. And it's true. And if you love Trump, that's okay. Love him all you want, but it's true. That's what the tiny dictator do. Oh, I see, he says. And I said, and I didn't know, when he said he didn't understand, maybe he didn't understand my acronyms, so I broke it down for him. BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, People of Color. What's the situation, he asks. And then I said about LGBTQIA2S, or gay, trans, and gender nonconforming folk. I'm not into any of this, so why tell me about it? Well, the situation is that the economy is as shit as you are living in. We have homeless, hardship, and corrupt politicians, yet you stand with your hand out feeling that I owe you. I didn't say you owe me anything. You put it that way. You know, my country was colonized too. If not all black people are thugs and thieves, which I know you are not, then it stands to reason that not all white people are racist colonizers. My response to him about not saying he didn't that he did not say that I owed him anything. I said, yes, you did. You expect and assume I'm a good Samaritan. I never claimed to be. And would freely give you money. I was trying to help you figure a way out of stealing. And you think I don't care about less privileged. You don't know if I can make ends meet or if I'm in debt. Like literally, he didn't care about that. He just cared about what he needed. And then I don't understand this response. He was asking when I was telling him that my country was colonized. He's like, what do you say? I don't know what that meant. So yeah. Yet you assume. And then his response to me saying that about he is assuming I was a good Samaritan. He's like, never can tell what's on your mind. Hi, yes, the gaslighting. So you have your ways of doing things, he says. And I reminded him of his message where he said, and if someone who feels he or she is a good Samaritan and doesn't care or help less privileged is not a good Samaritan. I said, those are your words thrown at me. You assume I don't care. Oh, now I know you care. I know you can help me, and I believe in you. He got out his pom-poms. So you lost a follower and gained a like. You decided to act the moo-moo fool and keep the illegal hustle. Why do you enjoy harming? I will never understand. If only you knew how to use the brain you were given. I don't know what you want me to say again. And he starts crying. Right, just goes to show a leopard can't change his spots. And he ghosted me. And this is what I meant. Because I went back on his page And originally he had 16 likes and 19 followers, and all of a sudden he lost a follower and gained a like. I don't understand. So this is that LinkedIn page about student loans. And about how they are not as up to date so much as other countries, but they're trying to do loans. The rollout has been slow, according to this, and many students turn to other sources for funding in the meantime. So, I mean, it does show that there is a way. It's a little trickier. The road is a little bumpier than it is for most of us, but there is a way. And but there's a bank that's providing loans up to 1 million naira for a student in Nigerian universities. The interest rate is 20%. It's not so good, but you know what? It can be extended up to 5 years. So they're not fully hooped. I mean, yeah, I can see how being a kid, it would look a little intimidating. Here's some other information. Oh, the eligibility. This is why I believe that he did not want to look at this information, because he did not actually want to go to school. He just wanted the money, because he had to have proof of enrollment showing that he was going to be enrolled in Nigeria. He had to have a guarantor, parent, guardian, or working relative. They keep saying sponsor, but obviously someone from overseas is not going to be able to help him. Good academic standing. Maybe he didn't have good academic standing. He needed collateral. Some private loans might ask for collateral or a guarantor with a steady income, just in case the student reneges. I mean, the government's got to help them, cover their own butts, as it were. It doesn't look like repaying the government loans. I mean, yeah, nobody wants to repay. It's a pain. Don't know what country every one of you are in, but it looks like it's not any harder for them in Nigeria to repay the loan than it would be for you or I in our respective countries. Yeah, just a quick look here, but I'm pretty sure he already knew all this or had an idea about all this, and this is not something he wanted, because again, he was like that hungry homeless dude in McDonald's, crying that he hadn't eaten, but when offered food, literally screamed profanities that he did not want food, he wanted money. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me in this little rant of a video. I hope you did learn something. Maybe you were entertained. Mostly, I care about you learning something. Yeah. If you try to help somebody out by giving them suggestions and brainstorming, and they just start screaming, no, I don't want to do that, well, clearly what they claim to have wanted in the first place is not what they want. They literally just want money. I don't care what walk of life you're in, what hardships you're having. If you only ask for money, you raise a lot of red flags, in my opinion. Sure, you want to do the work too. Anyway, sorry, I did not mean to get on a soapbox. I'll step down off my little soapbox. But yeah. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers that have come in just recently. That is amazing. I'm so glad to see you all. New friends, old friends. People that don't even want to be friends. Glad to see you all. You are safe, you are loved, and you're blessed. We'll see you in the next video.